Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Let me see. This is supposed to be on the first page. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Are we all here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
They
so
can see you.
today, like I said, I'm privileged to talk about AI in business development with focus in Africa. Again, my name is Collins Onyemobi, and like I was earlier introduced, I have over 15 plus years of software development, and then for the past 8 years, it's been AI. I started using large language models, what we call large language models, and NLU, long before the GPTs that we all use today. But excitingly, it is what it is today. So today we'll be talking about the Africa plus AI, then with focus for business. So looking at my screen, you'll see what is it? You'll see some icons all displayed. These are areas that we'll all touch, from robotics to the global space, and then releasing that to Africa, to the knowledge base aspect, and then the innovative and creative sector also. And then from my screen too, you can see that there are specific presentation style that I've done specific for this presentation. So for the bottom aspect, as I present, and go through the slides, kindly read through these highlights. So for instance, over here, you see, think about this. How could AI transform the way business operates in your community? So these are like keynotes, these are like highlights that these are questions to each and every one of us. So we start jotting down this, and then at the end, we'll all have conversations on them about. So I'm moving to the next slide. Again, just a quick rundown or run through about me. I've developed several predictive models. I've done a couple of projects, both in Kenya, in Liberia, in Nigeria, several. I've trained a couple of persons. I've built a couple of machine learning models to help several businesses do a couple of things, apart from software development, right? And then my mission is to bridge AI research with real world business solution, especially for Africa. That is why I've been around these few countries I've mentioned. Now, fun fact about AI. Who could tell me what is a fun fact about AI? Without taking our time, let me just pop it up. Again, I'm an AI specialist. Like me, help businesses make decisions 10x faster than traditional methods. So looking at this, you understand we are looking at optimization. How can you introduce a system, a process, right, or a technology that will help improve the overall outcome of your business, that will help increase ROI and all, and also help optimize business processes. On our today's journey, well, when I was invited, I was in between. Is this for me to just have an interaction? But at the same time, I say, okay, let me do a presentation. Hopefully, time will permit, then we can talk more. But again, for our today's journey, we're looking at AI in business, right? We're also looking at AI, okay, AI business applications. You're not talking to me? Okay. I can hear a voice in the background. Is that referring to
Please,
me?
if you are not speaking, can you mute your mic, please? Please. Okay, go on, sir. Sorry for that.
Yeah, so we're looking at AI for business applications. We also look at African focus and case studies. We also talk about benefit, challenges, and ethics. Then our CAM LDS impact, and then the future Q&A. For CAM LDS, which I'm heading, is Center for Applied Machine Learning and Data Science. We've been operational for about almost 3 years now. Okay. On our slide again, we're talking about AI in business, like having a super smart assistant, right? This is usually one of the simplest examples you can give. But then on the slide, you can also see what is this AI we're talking about? How can we make you understand at the end of this class, you're able to, at the end of this section, you're able to understand that this is what it is, away from the big words of, oh, what is AI? What is it? Is ChatGPT alone AI? Is the chatbot AI? No, we also try to talk more so you understand at the end of the day, at the end of this class, and how it can impact your business. So on the first side, you see a simplified version of AI. Learns from an example. That is AI for you. It's a machine learning model. You build machine learning model, and machine learning simply tells you how you provide data that a machine can learn. So that aspect is you provide some data, and then for future predictions, the machine will be able to tell you, based on this historical data, this is what is likely to happen, right? That is what we call, it learns from examples. And then we also have to understand human language, which is NLP. So this is also an aspect of of AI that allows the computer to also understand human language by extracting the text, by converting text to speech, by converting speech to text, by machine translation. All these abilities are done through the natural language processing. And in short, it's called the NLP. Again, the other path is can see and analyze images. These days, we started off GPTs, chat GPTs, by, you send messages and then you get responses. But with time, you notice with the competition ongoing, you have the likes of the chat GPT, the Gemini by Google, you have the chat GPT, the OpenAI Sona, or Sora rather, then you have there are several of them, the Runway AI. All these are different computer vision, right? How computer is able to read images, how computer is able to read images in pixels and then be able to analyze them and then provide you the correct analysis or information that you need from those images. So that all these are, again, these are aspects and components of AI. Then can control robots and automate tasks. Okay, now this is the new way. This is going to be the new lead. Today we're using ChatGPT, we're using Google Gemini, we're using Anthropic Cloud AI, we're using the Meta AI, we're using the DeepSeek to do text analysis, to convert images and the rest of them, right? All this is the moment where they are all progressing. The next phase is going to be how robots.
God bless you. No.
We're sorry for that, Mr. Collins. Some people are just
Okay.
coming late and they are just distracting the class. And
Okay,
please,
that's fine.
I apologize for that.
Okay. So we'll talk about how in future, how are robots going to be controlled more with the advent of the next advancement of this AI. And then from business perspective, you're looking at, again, grow and expand, innovate with new ideas, work more efficiently, and then make better decisions. So all these are a function of AI. We'll talk about case studies, like I said in the earlier agenda that we will cover. So you see how businesses are actually using AI to optimize, to increase sales, and then in overall to expand on their processes and then attend to and of course scale. So again, for the projection, which was done by PwC, I'm sure we're familiar with PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, right? They report that AI could add $15.7 trillion to the world economy by 2025, right? And which is this year. And is that happening? More of that is happening. A lot of that is happening, right? So we'll see that. And like I said earlier, our reflection, think of one repetitive task you do daily and how might AI help automate it. So this message is to us. So while we progress, you just try to note some of these tasks we do repeatedly, and we do this every day. How can AI automate it? on the Q&A sections, you could ask, and then hopefully I'll be able to provide you with those answers. Please, if I'm speaking fast, kindly let me know. I'm trying to work with the 1 hour, and I'm hoping we can achieve that. If I'm speaking too fast, please let me know.
Okay, sir. You just be free. You can have your time, sir. We'll let you know when it's time.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so again, the AI toolbox. What are the 4 superpowers of the AI? The first is the machine learning. We talked briefly about this before, right? And then again, talking about how to predict, how to make predictions with your previous data by providing examples to the computer machine. And then one typical case is what the bank used to predict which customers will buy your product. What the e-commerce sector rather use to predict which customers will buy your product, or what the banks use to predict customers churn, whether a customer will stay or leave, right? They will also have the natural language processing, which helps understand human language, like the chatbots that we use on our daily business uses. They will also have the computer vision, and a typical example is also being able to spot defective products in factories, being able to recognize objects in an image, being able to categorize several objects in an image and whether they are for those specific things. Then again, we'll have the robots and automations where the control systems are used. We also have the self-driving cars as the acceptance is being increased, I mean, these days with time because of how AI. And then in some restaurants in South Korea, Japan, you see all robots serving in those restaurants and the rest of them, and in factory as well. So all these are the 4 superpowers of AI. Now, again, with this question, which technology could you use first? Which of these? If you were asked, which of these?
Okay.
Yes, I would like to hear from you. Sorry?
I guess machine learning. Machine learning is the is the best.
Oh, machine learning is the best. Okay. Okay. Does anyone have any answer different from machine learning? Well, machine learning is one of them. It's never the best when compared to all of them. What usually matters in business cases, you match business case with use case, right? So the question is, what is your use case? Your use case will determine which of them that would be the lead for that particular case. But again, the 4 of them, all 4 technologies often work together like a team where each member has specific tasks. Why is it so? There are cases where you need to provide data to a machine. What kind of data do you need to provide? Are you providing just textual data or also images? And then if you're providing just if you're providing both, what happens, right? Are you going to also allow the machine to convert it, analyze it, right, and be able to provide response to you? And then lastly, would you want some control systems, some physical devices to be able to also identify, for instance, access controls, autonomous driving vehicles, robots serving in factories and the likes. So again, depending on your use case, that will determine which of these you use, but at times, the 4 of them are likely to also work together. Okay, taking it bit by bit, AI in marketing, right? So we'll focus on what's your personal sales journeys, right? You look at how AI helps marketing. There are several ways AI actually helps marketing. Of course, the smart recommendation system like Netflix. So I love this Netflix experience a lot. So there's something about Netflix. When they first started, what they did was they created a form where folks would fill a preference form. Okay, what kind of movies do you like? What's the genre of movies you like? What's the type of movies, and all of that. So people, their customers actually choose the type of movies. But they now realize over time that not necessarily the choices of people was the most watched movies. But by the time they now introduce machine learning aspect and recommendation system aspect of it, what then happens is they monitor the activities of customers, of users, right? As they watch these movies, they're able to know, okay, this particular person has seen this kind of movie. Therefore, they can recommend this other type of movie, which is different from the traditional aspect that they ask people to feel. Of course, you know that there are several factors that could influence where you're filling a form and also the mood over time. So, but again, they had their smart recommendation system, which we'll talk about the success story. They also have customer scoring, which identify who most likely to buy, the content creation aspects, right, for ads and social media posts. Then you have the A and B testing to find out what works best. But again, look at the success story. The Amazon recommendation system did what? 35% increased by 35% sales from recommendation system that they introduced. A recommendation is just machine learning, right? And then customers buy 20% more with higher customer satisfaction. And this was reported by McKinsey and Company reports. Again, there's a question here. AI can increase conversion rate from 20 to 30%. That means more sales for same effort. The same effort, more sales, right? The same effort. So let's also take note of that. They will progress to AI in operations, the ultimate efficiency expert. So it's important too. You see predictive maintenance. The machine tells you when you need to fix certain things before they break, right? And then you see demand forecasting, knowing exactly how much inventory to keep. And then smart routes, GPS apps that save delivery for companies, in millions. And then the real example outcome of this, you see also the UPS, which uses AI to route optimization, also save 10 million gallons of fuel yearly, 85,000 fewer delivery miles daily, 300 to 400 miles saved annually. And this comes from the UPS reports, right? And again, you also know that before Uber came to life, what has happened? A lot of people would want to take a taxi. It takes longer time to be able to do this. But with Uber, there are a lot of route optimization that's also been done in that case, which has also increases its adoption. And again, this question comes, if you run a delivery company, which AI feature would you want the most? There are several ways you can do this. These things are like, again, like I asked in the first instance, what are those repetitive tasks you do on a daily basis? The question now is, how can AI be introduced to optimize that? We'll touch all that. Oh, this is another good one. You see the AI in finance, your digital financial guidance, from fraud detection to smart trading to credit scoring, right? All these are what it is. And then you have the success stories from PayPal, before AI, high fraud losses, slow transaction reviews, many false alarms, right? And then you have with AI, they have 99.5% fraud detection accuracy, real-time decisions, and better customer experience. Again, the key benefits of AI makes financial decisions more accurate and faster than ever before. Remember that with advance of AI, there's also a lot of vulnerability in the technology space. But with the right technology, with the right expertise, with the right implementation, of course, you are also able to detect, if you employ AI to watch patterns, raise alerts, and provide real-time decisions. Our discussion was expected to focus on Africa, and here we are today. Why are we talking about Africa? We have 1.3 billion people ready for AI. right? And then it's a game changer because this could contribute 1.2 trillion to African GDP by 2030. All this is what has been said over and over. What are the opportunities in it? 45% as of today, 45% mobile phone penetration, but again, it's growing. We have a booming fintech sector. A whole lot is happening. And remember that a whole lot, African has shown example in fintech. We have young tech startup, right, who have and needs to, harness all of this. And then the other great aspect is that we can actually leapfrog old technologies. So we don't have to implement solutions or adopt the technologies that were in developing times. We can actually move from the first stage and to where technology is today. Okay, but again, that comes with unique challenges. We all know when you talk about Africa, the first is infrastructure gaps. The other is diverse markets, right? The youth unemployment, and of course, AI can create a lot of jobs for them. And then the skill gaps, which is why we've also tried to come in as the Center for Applied Machine Learning and Data Science to help with training to build these skills in all aspects. Did you know that Africa is often called the final frontier for mobile innovation? Countries like Kenya led the world in mobile money. This is a system that works in Kenya. We are all aware of M-Pesa, right, which was a mobile money introduced in Kenya, and that was the first of its kind globally. And then the Western world, the US and the rest, and copied from that, right? So exactly, we need to see this from the aspect of Africa. AI transforming African agriculture, right? So there are several cases of using AI to transform African agriculture, from drones and satellites where they are monitored, to pest detection, to yield prediction, to smart irrigation. And then you also see the IBM Watson in Tanzania, their success story. So they're saying before, farmers guessed when to plant and harvest. But with the AI solution, they analyze weather, soil, and market data. And the outcome of this yielded 30% increase in crop yields. So this is, again, a success story. And then at the top, you also see the Kenya tea revolution. In fact, I've been taking Kenya tea for quite some time. I mean, of course, there are Nigerian tea, there are Ghanaian teas, and the rest of them. But I mean, they've actually done so well. And they also did this by AI-powered drones to monitor tea plantations. So you can imagine how they're able to do all of this. Again, helping feed Africa and result to food insecurity through smart farming. But again, you need to think, how might AI help small farmers in rural areas access better farming advice? How can AI? We've seen these use cases. What more do we expect? There is a lot more that can be done. To talk less is the African fintech revolution. Mobile money, like I said earlier, plus AI was all magic, right? The M-Pesa enhanced with AI increased fraud detection in real time, span transaction limits, spending pattern analysis, right? And then we also have the banking the unbanked. How is that possible? You also see AI credit scoring that provides mobile usage data, analyzes shopping patterns, and gives loans to people without bank without bank history. And the success story for this is, again, the Nigerian Branch International. They had 1 million plus users, serving millions across Africa, 3 minutes loans from applications to approval, 85% accuracy in predicting loan repayment. So this is being able to see who is eligible to access a loan. And how can you do that best? You look at the person's spending pattern, mobile usage, right? And then be able to use that data to draw some conclusion. And that conclusion now allows this macro lending story that we have today And of course, outside this, we also have the Nigerian fintechs like the likes of we have Flutterwave, and then we'll have Paystack, and so many others that are doing great in this sector. So AI is bringing financial services to people who never had access before. We also touch a little on AI in healthcare and education. Of course, we can't talk about AI without talking about AI in healthcare. Something happened sometime about 3 months ago, where there is the telemedicine system that had over, I think, 4,000 AI agents as medical doctors in China, treated a couple of patients in the first week of launch. So that is also possible in AI. But again, let's focus on what are these revolution about? The phone diagnostics solution. You take a photo, you detect whether you have malaria. This is possible today, right? Without even having to take blood sample. These things are possible. Again, let me also mention that the accuracy gets better over time. The maturity is what we're talking about. So as a business, you also try to understand what is the use case and what are the what's the critical nature of the solution that you're going to provide, and what impact does it have to your business. So this is also very important. But also to mention the telemedicine, which allows connect rural patients with city doctors. Drug discovery, AI does so well on this, with several data mining, reading several symptoms, reactions to drugs, several chemical components, right? And then being able to discover new drugs that could help cure several other sicknesses. Then we also have health monitoring. This is something that we all have. If you use your smartphone, use your the wearable devices, all these are things that help track, your BMI and the rest of them. So we'll have also some success stories here from South Africa through COVID-19 AI success for the AI health app. And then we talked about health. What about the education? These days, personal tutors, unlike before, where some countries already are adopting this, right? Personal tutors. So someone is able to learn at its own pace. It's not having a session where everybody have to follow the track, given the gaps in the individuals. We also have remote learning, where quality of education is also now provided. If you've done any of the, and then of course the proto also, if you do any online distance learning, you also see where you can actually you're going to sit for an exam as if your rights, AI is monitoring you, to be able to take those exams, and then you can take your courses anywhere, and then your progress is being also measured. Language transitions, this has been in existence, but now we're talking about AI. We also need to talk about it. There are several languages now that we should be talking about, the African languages. How can we have more of them into this AI ecosystem such that a tailored information responses are then provided to fit and suit our cases. Then skill matching. This is also one aspect. Now, the cool fact, AI can now diagnose some diseases more accurate than human doctors. So you can imagine. So AI, I know some persons will always argue that there is a little AI can do, but the truth is we are getting there. Will AI replace the human presence in some task? This is a question that we all ask, but gradually it is actually getting its waves. We all know Jumia, right? So Jumia again, for e-commerce. So Jumia is the African largest e-commerce platform. Talking about AI in business, it's important to also highlight this because this is one of the cases that we all know, and then we've seen outcomes, right? So AI recommendations, just like Amazon's and Netflix, smart logistics, which optimizes delivery routes, then the payment as well. So impressive results from this is about 25% increase in customer retention, 30% reduction in logistics costs, 40% faster delivery times, higher customer satisfaction scores. So the key lesson is that AI solution must adapt to local conditions. What works in the New York might not work in Lagos. So this is important. What do we define as best practices? How do we localize what is a best practice? What works in the West, can it work in Africa? This is a question we all need to ask. Okay, what about job creation? AI, again, is to provide over 700,000 new tech jobs in 2025. A lot of folks are now providing remote jobs, things that most of us didn't know that it's possible. Companies have to start starting their employment engagements just so that they can suit the new ways of AI. How are people able to do work remotely and all of it? AI specialists in high demand. The skills are needed and the skills are still growing. Prior to this point, you can imagine that if you ask to do a presentation, the first thing that comes to your mind is PowerPoint presentation. Is that correct? But these days, you can use, there are several tools. All the interviewer needs to ask you is just do a presentation like the one I'm doing. I'm presenting using a HTML slides. You can use PowerPoint, you can use Gamma, you can use GPT. There are 1,001 tools that you can use to do those presentations. And this is because there is that urge and increase. And the AI specialists are also needed to help businesses to grow in every aspect. There's also mobile apps developers. There's also data science training programs that are growing, which also needs to grow more so that businesses can have insight into decisions of what they couldn't uncover before, but now with real-time analysis, insights are then provided, and then they're able to take on the spot business decisions. And AI on social impact also, better healthcare for remote areas, quality education for everyone, financial inclusions for millions, security improvement, to mention for a few. I talked about the innovation that is now groundbreaking. A lot of interventions are happening, including the Nigerian government. They launched the 3 million TT. Ghanaians too have launched something like that too, to train about 1 million Ghanaians on technology and also on AI. And then all these are things that are ongoing in Africa to the continent, the advancement that is happening today. You also look at leapfrogging. You can skip the old tech and go straight to AI-powered solutions. So that barrier is also broken. You don't have to, build all of that to get to where the world is today. You can just jump into these new technologies and then all of it. Then the young population driving AI adoption and innovation. It's young people, right? And good, we have mobile phone penetration. Now they are also, as well as internet coverage. We know the Starlink trying to get to locations where you don't have to do all of that. And then there's also something they've also enhanced on, so that with all of the research that is ongoing in that sector, this is also helpful. Okay, the infrastructure challenges, the human challenges, data and ethics concerns. Of course, for Africa,
okay, sorry, Mr. Collins, sorry, I don't know if I can come in and probably ask. Okay, someone was raising up his hand. So I want to ask if there's any question or there's a concern.
Please.
Okay,
Please,
Mr. Azataba, your hands have been up. Is there any concern or what?
Yeah, I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I know that
almost 15,000.
during some years back, when we were all using typewriter, we crossed to computer. And when we got the computer, people were afraid that their jobs will be redundant. So I wanted to know, how can AI help Africa in terms of fighting security? That's one. The second one is
Sorry,
the next.
someone is talking in the background. I don't know.
Please, people should avoid speaking if you are not speaking, please. We're in a serious session, please.
Can I go over?
And go on, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I have two questions. The first one, you mentioned Jumia, and I wanted to know whether the relevance of Jumia these days, is it due to technology or AI? That's question one. Question two, how, now that we are focusing on development of Africa, how can AI help Africa to fight security in terms of armed robbery, all kind of criminal activities? Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm going to leave Mr. Collins to answer that. And it's part of the reason why this part is part of your MBA program, because the future of Africa will be dependent on AI, whether we like it or not. And I know for some of you, this might look taxi and a bit tough, but if you don't grab this now, you're going to lose out. This is a must knowledge for everyone that wants to be at the forefront of African development. And I'm happy, Mr. Azatawa, you are doing your PhD, that you are asking this question. It shows that you are concerned for Africa. Everyone, it may look funny. You may say, how do I cope with this? You have no choice. Let me just be that. You have no choice than to embrace AI, or you're going to be in the Stone Age. Soon, anything you are doing with that technology will take you far. There are young people, teenagers that are picking these skills. Soon, you will become irrelevant to them. And you people that are, so I'm not going to say a lot now, but I just want everyone to take this class serious, because you can't, no matter the sector you are in, thank God Mr. Collins has been giving us different examples in different sectors. And there's a reason he's doing that, so that you all find your relevance. Because in the next, we're talking 5 years, in the next 2 years, some of you, the teaching profession will change completely. It will be AI driven. People will no longer go to classroom in a conventional university. It will be long gone. Years ago, who does MBA online? But today is the major way now to get MBA online, to get master's degree, doctorate. Nobody goes to a conventional university. And it's going to be like that in the next 5 years. It will be completely shifted, because people want to be making money and be studying at the same time. So please and please, get your jotter, read this thing. You may not see the reason now, but we did not waste our time reaching out to Mr. Collins, a specialist. And we also have one of our faculty members who is also involved in this. There's a reason we're doing this. We want you people that have this, who will leave this academy with your MBA, to be the one leading your country. Or else, the Western world will still come and colonize us again if we don't understand AI. They will not come to our country this time to colonize us. From their own country, they will be ruling us. We'll be in our country, they'll be making our money through AI and technology. It's better we have an education that enables us to maximize our future. And that is why we're doing this. So, Mr. Collins, take it off for us. Sorry for just coming. I just needed to make that clarification.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that highlight. It's important we all get involved, and which is why we need to be available, understand it, and then also think ahead to provide something that would be locally that's adaptable. So to answer your question, the first one is what Jumia is doing. Is it AI or technology? So before now, there's a way you can define AI, which might look abstract. But today, if you define AI, you're also saying technology. I talked about the use case of Netflix. Netflix was using technology. They had if you sign up an account, they provide you with a preference list where you fill the type of movie you prefer and all of that, all your preferences, you fill it and submit. But for business, they realize that over time, even though we have 20 persons say they like this particular type of movie, but we realize it's only 5. While the other ones that they say they didn't like is the one that they prefer the more. So what did they do? They introduced technology. Sorry, they introduced AI. They introduced, okay, we don't have to ask anybody anything. Let the person sign up, and then the next thing is we monitor the person to watch what type of movie the person is watching. And with that, we're able to recommend something. Now, coming to Jumia, which is your question. Jumia is just like the example I gave. Jumia, again, started off by implementing AI. By the way, AI is not just ChatGPT, right? So we understand that even before ChatGPT, AI exists. And AI is a concept that when a system is able to predict on its own the intelligence being exhibited by the machine through learning from the previous data, right? So Jumia is able to also use the same recommendation system. If you, as a software engineer, if you build an application where you had code, okay, this you go manually to check this person had liked this and this. You send an email to this person because these are the type of things the person bought from our e-commerce platform. Or you now show what the person are likely to have. The way that was possible is through recommendation system. And whenever you hear a recommendation system, it's a machine learning techniques that allows a system to learn from previous data, tailored data for that particular person. So if I had bought a sneakers or white color, I bought a sneakers again next year, or maybe there's another shoe which is white color. Maybe I bought twice or three times. It's easier for the machine to quickly know that, oh, this guy is a white color fan. And then the next recommendation would be shoes or things in white color. That aspect is AI. All right. Then the next is also optimization. Being able to calculate and optimize delivery routes. Yes, there are ways it can be done technologically, right? But with AI, AI is able to say, okay, these are the obstacles that are likely to happen. If there's a traffic light, this traffic light that is holding, that might cause a slowdown, right? How in the past 1 year, in the past 3 months, how consistent has this traffic light been? And then with that, it will say, no, instead of going this route, take this route. And that is the fastest route. So AI, because of AI, you're able to calculate how fast that is happening. And again, that is being done automatically, which moves you away from the traditional programming language. So I think I've answered that on the first question. Now, the second one is with respect to the crime rates, the armed robbery, and all of that. A whole lot is going on. We can see some examples on how Israel's and all is doing, right? So these things are precisions. They are precisions. You look at this, you've seen examples of crop yield and satellites. How do you use drones? How do you use drones to monitor where these people are based? How do you use drones to detect what kind of ammunition that they are having? How do you use some, how do you gather data with respect to the previous crime rate, the type of persons that do that, right? So, of course, you're talking about technology and AI at the same time because AI in itself needs technology to work. And AI, of course, is part of technology. Now, with monitoring, providing database of these events as they occur, right? You're keeping track. If it's a gun, what type of gun is it? How is this gun? How many times have this gun occurred? What type of engagements, or rather, what type of events or shooting has that gun been able to do? So you monitor all that, and then with that, you can now provide a more precise recommendation, a more precise solution. You might even go to the extent of, okay, finding out what type of gun it is, get the gun and see the components of that gun, and then understand that, okay, because of this type of criminal activity that has happened, that has been reoccurring, this is what has led to those. So those decisions are not done manually. They are done through several means, through satellites, through drones, and then several other means. I hope I've answered the two questions being raised.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I was able to do justice to that.
You did, sir.
Okay, so there are a couple of things. So again, we're looking at data and ethics, right? I mean, let me not skip the infrastructure challenges. Of course, you know, the internet connectivity gaps, power issues, right? Skill gaps. We've talked about all of that, high initial cost and all of it. I mean, that's for organizations who are going to implement that. Then for data and ethics concerns, we also looked at personal data protection, weak regulatory frameworks, potential surveillance misuse, AI trained on non-African data. I've talked about this, AI biases, right? Unfair algorithm decisions, exclusive. So all of these are things. I was with my one of my old parents, and we're talking about what was it called? How she was talking about that some plants can grow on a rock. And then the question I asked her, how possible is that? No, she was arguing that that was correct. So when I saw the video, it was a video on Facebook that some folks used AI system to create a plant growing on a rock. So you now understand that some regulations needs to happen. What are the kind of information that's in our today world that is being disseminated? Who is listening? What are they creating with that? Yeah, I know in some countries, certain things are forbidden, certain things are banned, right? But in Africa, do we have issues with our regulatory frameworks? Are we ahead of all of that? So those are the questions, including uh, the things I talked about before, the non-African data. The non-African data. A child cannot be learning A is for apple. I don't know other fruits we have that a child can learn in Africa. Do we have Africa growing in that volume, right? So those are the questions. There are a lot of things we need to do. There are a lot of untapped plants, trees that are in Africa that are no anywhere else. So how do we look at this, understand them, like look through those plants, see what can be created from them. So those are the things that we need to also highlight. Okay, don't worry, we're moving on. So the AI ethics, we're looking at transparency, fairness, and accountability. That you're using an AI system doesn't end there. It needs to be transparent. And by transparency, it simply talks about how should you understand how AI makes decision about certain things. Yes, you start building trust with an AI solution you integrate or you deploy. But again, the transparency of that decision helps, more especially in some sectors that are critical. For example, the elections project, the um, the medical sectors, and some other businesses as well. Customers would like to know, how is this? If you say this is what it is, how transparent is it? The fairness, right? We're talking about some data are not peculiar to us, or we don't have some of our data being trained a whole lot. So we also need that to happen. I mean, a lot on inclusivity and data sovereignty, right? So all of that needs to come in handy. Okay, just to highlight a little thing, I think we're almost done. So you're meeting Camel DS, your AI partner in Africa. Here we have built several solutions in African contests. One of the impacts I made for a UNDP project was in Liberia 2020, 2020, they are using OMR for their voters register. And because of that, they have to take photos of individuals. And then when they take the photo of individuals, they staple it, and then they pin it, and then they scan it into the system. So when we got there, we realized, so they complained about some persons have duplicated records. So what we did was, okay, let's look at the data. We look at the data, we started drawing patterns from that data. Even at the list of that kind of situations, some persons, their ears are not there, just half head, no ears. Some are wearing their head caps, head tie, because there was no standard as at the time they had that solution. But again, what happened? We helped them remove almost 9,000 records, which were flagged duplicates prior to the election, and it was quite successful. The records are everywhere. So we've done a whole lot. We've trained a lot of persons in conferences, in individual training, our training centers, in groups, right, and all. We've also helped several businesses, both in advisory and all of it. We're in several African countries, right? I've mentioned Liberia, Kenya, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, and then even in some supporting countries like Cape Verde, right, and all. So this is who we are. Next is we can help your business in AI consulting, training programs, and custom development tailored for Africa, made by Africans. Of course, we talked about the crop yield production, microfinance credit scoring, healthcare diagnostics to education to deep understanding of local languages, solutions for low data environment, and all of that. Okay, the future. Let's also highlight AI as Africa's growth engine. Like Mr. Boniface has talked about, the AI, it's something we must key into. It has come to stay. It's not just like blockchain. No, it's a new wave. Companies are going down. Companies are downsizing. If you follow the technological trend, companies, even technology companies, are downsizing. These days, you just need to, I mean, individuals are forming one-man companies and the rest of them, because they have AI agents who are also helping them automate some tasks, right? But to do this, you need a whole lot also to come in handy, right? Again, let's focus on the emerging trends. One is the green AI, which optimizes renewable energy systems, AI in urban planning and management, AI secure, transparent and system. Gaming, a whole lot is happening in gaming. And then the bold predictions, there are several predictions. 50% of African businesses will use AI by 2030. By the way, 2030 is just 5 years from now. Before you think it's already here, right? 2 million plus AI jobs created across the continent. $2 trillion economic impact from AI adoption. AI innovation hub for developing world. And these are the timeline. By 2085, these are the foundation year. So which means that this session and every session you've had on AI comes in handy. So this is where there's a massive AI skills training program, infrastructure investment. Okay, in 2087, they're looking at acceleration phase. AI adoption reaches tipping points, right? Tipping points. Major success stories would emerge. A whole lot is already happening, and more is to come. You remember that during COVID-19, just because that a lot of companies went in to start doing a couple of things, post COVID-19, so many things started happening. A lot of solutions started coming on board, right? Likewise, this on AI. Then by 2030, which is the transformation complete stage, Africa leads global AI innovation in agriculture, fintech, and healthcare. We have the ground to do all of this. We have the human resources. We are not yet matured in this stage. So it's a growing time. And in economics, if you say something is growing, it literally means from the stage you are to the increase, what is the percentage change? So we'll see that a whole lot would actually happen in and on before 2030. What are our takeaways? What do you need to remember from all of this that I've been saying? The first is AI transformation that is going on businesses. The second is Africans would have a unique opportunity, right? But again, we must tailor our approaches. Okay, we also need to address challenges to actively sustain this AI impact. We also need to partner with us if need be. Again, the active steps are start learning, invest in AI education for your team, assess your data, right? What information do you have? Identify use cases. Where can AI help your business? Which is very important because company XYZ is using AI doesn't mean you need AI. And if company XYZ even uses AI, what form of AI are they using? How did they adopt this AI and how did they integrate to this AI, which will make a whole lot of business sense from understanding your business analysis and doing your business canvas and AI canvas to match and extract those key aspects, those wins for your business. And then start small. It's important to start small. Think local and then stay ethical. So all these with a reflection that what one's AI application you are excited to explore for your business organization. So this question would come to all of us. Let me see. Okay, more questions. So here comes questions and discussions. So here is where we need to talk.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We're going to open the forum for discussion now. I want everyone to know that, and for those of you that are working in government sector and the private sector, the degrees in the next 5 years, people that will be the CEOs, the directors in the various organizations will be people that have certification in AI and the rest. And that is why we went ahead of time to equip you people, and we set up a program we call Technological Entrepreneurship. And we have advertised it, which is going for £200, but £50 for our students. Funny enough, most of you have not applied for that. If you are a director now, you want to become the CEO of your company, you have got to go ahead. Just like when people were doing typewriting, those that went ahead to learn computer ended up becoming relevant. That is how AI is. You want to be relevant in the next 5 years. Begin, whether you're a teacher, you're a principal of a school, administrator of a school, I have a diploma in technological entrepreneurship. I have a diploma in AI and business. Why did I do all those courses? Because I was planning ahead for the future of the educational sector. You've got to go ahead of time. And that is what I'm going to encourage everyone here. Don't wait till it comes. If you want to lead your people, be ahead of time and make sure you have these qualifications ahead. And not just the qualification, the know-how. That is why we brought people like those of you in Nigeria and in Africa. You need to work with Mr. Collins, and you want to reach out to him. He runs a center for that. What he did today is to water your appetite to know what you need to get into the future. The basic learning of how this AI works, you've got to be in a class to learn that. For those of you that are in the school, take advantage of the technological entrepreneurship. And we're going to introduce some of you to him. And we also have Mr. Cephas, who is also part of our faculty. The reason we are bringing these experts is because we want to position you people to be the top in the future. I'm talking about change that will take place in the next 1 year. If you are a director, a deputy director, a manager, get a certificate or a diploma in technological entrepreneurship that deals with AI and the rest of them, or get a certificate in AI and the rest to position yourself for the future. I'm going to stop there and then open the room for discussion so that we can take advantage of having an expert in the house to get as much answers we can get from him. And I'm really saying that we are partnering after, and I'm going to partner with him as an institute here in London. And we hope that most of you that have big enterprises, you want to partner with his organization and see what you can do with him. So let's go. I'm going to open the floor now for questions. You want to ask questions, you put up your hands. Please don't speak if you are not asked to speak. Just put up your hands. I'm going to call you. Mr. Kocha, you go first. Your hand.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
thank you, our facilitator, for this eye-opening lecture. It's really timely, and I won't take it for granted. I want to come in the aspect of, you know, the disadvantage of AI to the society, because it has.
I can't hear him.
Mr. Kocha, what happened to your phone? We can't hear you anymore. Mr. Kocha went off. It was talking about the disadvantage of AI. Osa, do you want to get all the questions you want to answer as they come? Which one you want to do?
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, maybe we can address them, and so that if someone does not need to ask again, then maybe what the person wanted to ask has been covered also.
Okay, fine. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So I think Mr. Kocha is talking about the disadvantage of AI, maybe due to job loss and the rest of it. How do we cope with it? Maybe that's what he's saying.
Okay. Okay. Well, the disadvantage of AI. What I've known for sure is.
Hello, can I be heard?
Okay, we can hear you now. Can you round up now, please? Okay, go on. Mr. Kocha,
Okay.
can you speak?
Just the quick one, please.
Okay.
Please, I'm concentrating on the disadvantages or the threat that AI can pose to the community at large, bearing Africa in mind. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Collins, please.
Okay, so let me respond with a popular saying that talks about AI will not necessarily replace a business, right? But then for businesses who adopt AI, will stay ahead. So what that means is, with that note, what it means is we need to start as a business, start adopting a new way of doing things, which is the AI way. Recall that marketing, sorry, I'm just touching a bit about technology, right? Marketing before now, you really don't need to do marketing on social media. But with the advent of social media and technology these days, yes, you still need marketers, right? Who does marketing. But at the same time, you also need to advertise on the social media platforms. So the disadvantage isn't as much as the gains for AI. There's a lot of gain. If a business can adopt AI to optimize processes, right? Then what it means is, what does that AI adoption mean to the business? Does it increase sales? Does it increase ROI? What does it help do? Does it increase, manufacturing? So all of these things are the things that we try to compare notes with. So the wins and the disadvantage, which one carries more weight with that regards? So I want to stop here. I think
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
that.
Okay. I'm just going to make some contribution as you go on. Now,
Okay.
there's something in the business world called sustainable innovation. How do you sustain a policy while you are innovating? It's what sustainable innovation is all about. The bitter truth is that we live in a business evolution. You better equip yourself or you go into extinction. It's just the reality of life. That is why you don't get you choose one way. You either learn the hard way or you live the hard life. So when a new technology is coming, you tell yourself the truth. This is the new reality out there. You've got to adopt and you've got to adapt. Now, government all over the world are trying to understand sustainable innovation, but no matter how they try it, businesses are going to die. But you make sure that you are not one of those that will die by adopting the technology ahead of time. That's the reality of life. Every new evolution in the business was like a wave. As it goes up, some goes down. It goes up, but make sure that you are always adopting. That's why we talk about adaptation and innovation in the business school. So learn to innovate and adapt. That's how you stay up front. But you cannot keep looking. What the people that refuse to learn computer today, they retired prematurely because they refuse to learn or they were afraid to learn. And that is the reality of life. Always adapt and innovate.
Now, I'll get back to you.
to present reality. So we're going to stop there. Mr. Joseph, can we hear from you?
Thank you very much, and thanks a lot to the presenter or the guest speaker. Just concern about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs actually need AI to improve upon their performance and their growth. And I just want to ask, how can entrepreneurs come together or co-create an AI that will be innovative for African development? Thank you. You know, what I mean is, instead of them relying on imported solutions, we are focusing on Africa. So can entrepreneurs co-create an AI innovative system that will be more focused on African development?
Okay. Yes, fantastic. Okay, let me say a few things. I think, Oba, you wanted to say something?
You know, I'm laughing. I was almost telling him that, why didn't he make that his MBA project?
Interesting.
That would have been a mega billion deal. But you can give him the solution for that.
Okay, so the truth is, when you talk about AI, there are two major aspects. One is data. Two is the skill sets, right? The data aspects, if you look at the developed nations, right? What happened is that there's a lot of investment in data. There's a lot of investment, there's a lot of funding for data collection. Some organizations collect data as much as 5 years. What they do is, this funding is for data collection, and then they keep collecting that data as much as 5 years, right? Now, which is one major aspect that in Africa, I think we are lacking. Some governments claim that that is ongoing. We want to see more of that. We want to see more of funding interventions to local adaptation of our own data. Take, for instance, if you talk about the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Hausa, the three major languages in Nigeria, how much of the data, if you go online and search, okay, you want to get a data set for these languages, how much of it can you find? What's the accuracy of it? How mature is that data that you can gather? So if you're looking at a local application creation or local business value that would derive from even pidgin English, right? How well would that be available so that folks within the African context can co-create things to meet our own specifics? So I think number one is funding, and is required to achieve all that. And funding can come from whether private sector or government, as the case is.
No, thank you, Mr. Collins. And I think there's a whole lot. That was a very serious question. I want to see how we can exploit that with Mr. Zataba, working with your organization. Thank God we have some faculty member in the school. We'll see how we can do that, because we need to localize our AI intelligence and see how we can really provide localized, like you said, think local at the end of your presentation. How we can really localize. And sometimes when you are making a research with some of these AI, you discover that most of the data are foreign. They are mostly white, this, that, and you have very few data coming from that are really African-based. And so someone can take that challenge. You make money by solving problem. So if you have this hunger in you, you have this area. So it's an opportunity to exploit. And people like Mr. Collins, they are available to partner to see how this can be done. So it's an opportunity. And that's what we say in entrepreneurship. Challenges are opportunity to create wealth. So let's see how we can exploit that. So thank you, Mr. Zataba, for thinking that. Maybe that's why you're doing your doctorate. And so let's talk about Mr. Ezra Jibania. Let's hear from you.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm excited with these explanations and how this thing is coming very close to where we are. Even if you're in a village or wherever you are, this knowledge is fast coming to you. So I heard the other person was talking about registering with them, pay £50 and there. And from my try to understand, though I came late, sorry, I want to ask, is this a preamble or something that we have to sit down and learn some of these things detail by detail, how to integrate yourself with some of these things in your day-to-day activities, in particular to AI, because I saw a lot of things here. I just want to be specific. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to give to what we said about that. Mr. Collins is going to explain. Mr. Collins is our special guest today. This program is being organized by the DRN School of Entrepreneurship. We have several programs and we have partnership in Switzerland and in Switzerland that are working with us. So we have an in-house program, an MBA that is going on, which that is part of it. But we also have a special mini certification known as the Technological Entrepreneurship, where AI is taught. Technology, AI, digital marketing are part of it. It's part, and that course go for £200. But for students, registered students of the school, they just have to pay £50 to get that certification. That is the feature, trying to develop yourself. But we are also going to be working with Mr. Collins Center. He has a center in Nigeria. I've been following him, tracking his performance, what he's doing, and he's doing this across Africa. So we're going to look how we can partner, and there are also AI direct courses you can apply in school. I think at the end of the day, it's going to put the WhatsApp, the email, Mr. Collins, people that may want to locate your school, so that you can, the number, and so that you want to go purely AI. But at the DRN School of Entrepreneurship, we offer technological entrepreneurship that covers digital marketing, social media marketing, technological entrepreneurship, and AI in business. That comes under the certification. You get what we call the professional certificate in technological entrepreneurship. And that is what you get at the end of the 4 weeks course. I'm going to learn the basic of AI and the rest. But if you want to just focus on AI, machine learning, I'll tell you one of the best center you can do is a center being managed by Mr. Collins in Abuja. It's based in Abuja. Is that not Mr. Collins?
Absolutely.
The center is in Abuja, so you're going to share that. And so, Mr., you have something to say to this person that just spoke? Or maybe you can talk your email or how they can reach you now, those that may want to go special course on AI and things like that.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Well, like you already said, we have several programs which include for top executives. We have for those who want to get their hands really dirty. So you learn Python all the way. You learn Python, you learn machine learning, you learn how to feed your own data and the rest of them. Maybe before we wrap up, let me see if I would quickly bring up a screen and then with my number. I think that would be helpful.
Okay, that would be okay. Okay, let's invite Mr. Gift. Your question, please.
Yes, thank you so much for the eye-opening teaching. We are grateful for the facilitator. My question is, what risks are associated with AI and how best can those be mitigated, more especially for upcoming entrepreneurs? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Collins, you want to answer that or you want me to comment? And I think you should answer that. Or you're busy, should I go ahead? Is that what the risks and how do you mitigate those risks? So can you answer him?
Okay, maybe I should stop sharing first. Am I still sharing?
No, you can just answer the question. Maybe at the end, you are still sharing. Maybe after before we go, you just share your details and they can get that done.
Okay, that is fine. Okay, so basically, what risk? The risk is don't be overwhelmed with the AI hype. Like I said before, every AI solution you want to adopt, you must first look at what is it for your business. You must first look at if this solution, can this solution do without AI, right? You do your cost benefit analysis. What number of, or rather, what increment will you get if you introduce this AI? That is one. Then the second risk is vendor lock-in. These days, we have several AI vendors that exist, from Google to OpenAI to Anthropic to Meta to Grok, all of them, right? These are including Oracle and the rest of the Microsoft, right? So GitHub and the rest. So all these are different vendors. So whenever you're developing solution that has to do with you using any of these vendors, it's important your developers understand that they need to build a solution that scales. So for instance, if the cost for Grok becomes a bit higher, you should be able to just change to OpenAI, assuming you're consuming any of their APIs. And then also, whatever technology you're also deploying, you should also bear that in mind that you don't want vendor lock-in. You should be able to switch solution at rather technology at any given point. So those are the two critical things, and I think we should also be concerned with. These are risks that we must be wary of.
Okay, yeah, if I might add to that, if you do not adopt AI early enough, you might risk going to extinction. And that's the truth in the next 5 years. You might, because there are smart solutions that are being created. We're talking about speed and quality. So you might have a good solution, but because AI makes it possible for you to integrate solutions from the different part of the world within microseconds. It's quick for research, it's quick for product development, market development, strategies, and the rest. So if you don't adopt AI, how do you cope? If there's a scripture that said, if you cannot catch up with men on barefoot, how do you catch up with men on horseback? And so that is what it's going to be. So you have the potential of going into extinction if you don't start adopting AI as quick as possible. Imagine if there's another shutdown today globally. How do you cope if there's another shutdown without you having technology by your side? So let's plan ahead. Let's not wait for another shutdown to be ready, because economies are shutting down already. So let's, the risks, I'll tell you, you have the risk of going to extinction. Personally, from my side, if you don't adopt AI early. So, Mr. Emeka, let's hear from you. Mr. Emeka Kalum.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Collins. This class is very big for us, but I think it's okay. In the last class, I was told that data is life and data is the new oil. I think I'm correct, sir.
Yeah.
Then,
Absolutely.
so I saw when we're treating the issue of data and ethics concerns, I found out that there are privacy issues like personal data protection, weak regulation frameworks, and potential surveillance misuse. So what solution do we prefer, or how do we reduce this level of data and ethics concerns? Because I just found out yesterday too now that the richest man in the world has just changed, and that's supposed to be the founder of Oracle. I believe AI is doing something that would have made that man to become the richest man now in the world. So how do we mitigate or prefer solution to reduce or ameliorate these data and ethics concerns? Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. The data for a couple of things, right? Collecting data, and most especially when it has to do with personal data, in our data world, there are things that we call data masking. Depending on what you want to do, if you're training a machine learning model, you can actually mask the data, right? And then provide the non-sensitive information. You can even hard code some of them. I'm going technical, right? You can even hard code some of them. That's on one hand. I'm talking about implementation and avoiding data issues, right? The second path is you realize that a lot of folks who use ChatGPT, Gemini, and the rest, some persons are going to go and provide data of even a company private data to OpenAI and ChatGPT. And the truth is that they're going to use that to train. There's a noise in the background.
Please, okay.
So the truth is that they're going to use that to train a machine learning model. So you can imagine, so we need to be careful when providing information to the chatting systems that we all call AI today. We need to be very careful to know what type of data we're providing. Now, on the other hand, the regulatory frameworks, the government, the way countries handle data and privacy concerns in some countries differ from what we have in Africa, right?
True.
It's to data privacy. So data privacy is not going to hamper on any AI system, but we need to also know where we need to feed in that data. And in adopting any solution for your business, there are local solutions you can deploy that works within your own local infrastructure and that does not go to the public. I think I've touched a bit on the regulatory framework, the data implementation, and then the technology solution of AI adoption that you can deploy without having to provide sensitive information out there. Thank you.
Okay, this you talk about masking and hard coding.
Yes.
That sounds very, very technical. Maybe in the course of our technological entrepreneurship that is afforded us because we are students of DRN, which is $50. I want to ask my director, when is the class starting?
People that are interested have started registering, and it's going to start next month. For those that are going to start it by next month. Now let me go that. Having said that, I just want to explain this to all of us. There are rules that guide, like in the UK, yeah, you can't do certain things with certain people data, you go to jail. And we have it in Nigeria, we have it in Ghana. But there are companies that trade on data. And there are some realities that are just in the world today. You're going to tell yourself, companies use your data, whether you like it. There are sometimes, don't be too, any data you don't want out there, then don't put it. Because we also have, one of the things you're going to learn during the technological entrepreneur is what we call the IoT, the Internet of Things. The world is connected. It's called the Internet of Things. The world is so connected. So play by the rules, follow companies that follow the rules. But I'll tell you, there's almost anybody that really wants to get your data will get your data. It's either if they can pay for it or they're willing to pay for experts like Mr. Collins and the rest to look for that data. Some of us are paid to get the data of people when we carry out advanced due diligence. It's the reality of today's world. So, because data is life, there are people that are willing to pay the billions to get the data. Like you said, the richest man in the world became the founder of Oracle. But Elon Musk just recovered it not too long. But it's now a battle between both of them. So why is he achieving that? It's data. Mr. Kalu, you can become the richest man in Africa overnight. If 100 million people give you 50 naira today, so that's how it works. It's about data. How do you manage data? How do you streamline data? How do you structure data? That is how the world is today. It's about data management. So let's stay hungry and be ready to take over our space. Now, Mr. Paul, let's hear from you. Mr. Paul.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, I just want to find out, the African continent is a continent with a youthful population, a war-torn continent, an emerging economy with the biggest or the largest trade bloc. Do we foresee any danger posed by the emergence of AI? That's my question.
Okay. Mr. Collins, can you provide answer?
Well. So it depends on the context. One thing for sure is that technology originally was not an African thing, right? And when Mr. Boniface talked about a global village, in fact, at times it looks like when you're thinking something, you just realize that you turn on the television or your YouTube, the next thing, the same thing you're thinking, you start seeing the adverts, right? So a whole lot is going on. A whole lot is going on. There are things that, except if the African, if we the Africans start doing, then maybe. But again, if you look at the sovereignty of technology, Africa, we don't have it yet. No matter how you present it, we don't have the sovereignty of technology yet. Why is DeepSeek making all the noise? Why is DeepSeek telling OpenAI that has invested over trillions of dollars, that they did something in thousands of dollars, as to compare to them? Because Chinese has the technology sovereignty. They are able to build embedded systems. They're able to cut off the value chains of financial banking businesses, where you don't have to pay or do transactions, and then all of those financial chains get their cut. So they're able to come up with things to compete because they have technology sovereignty. In Africa, we don't have that yet. There's a lot of concern, like you have said. There's a lot of things we need to be wary about, but should we bother? And if we need to bother, how much of it can we bother with? What can we really do? So this is a question for all of us. What can we really do?
Thank you, sir. And really, for all of us that are a bit concerned, this is the reason why you are attending the MBA class, and that is why you are attending this section. Or maybe that's why a friend invited you, because the truth is this: problems are breeding ground for champions. I told myself, I am based in the UK, and we run and manage, we oversee the school here in the UK. But I'll tell you the truth, the future is Africa. And I pray when I speak to investors across the globe, most of them do not even have offices in Africa, but they are making billions from Africa through technology and AI. And Africans are poor because the engineers, the entrepreneurs are not thinking. They don't have Uber. How much investment does Uber have in Africa as a whole? When you talk about infrastructure, almost nothing. But they are making billions from Africa, from Nigeria, from Ghana, from South Africa. Facebook, how much practical infrastructure do they have in Africa? But yet they are making billions from Africa. So the question is, where will African entrepreneurs keep complaining about technology when people are crossing over your head and exploiting your country through technology? Because what will determine the success of the future is technology, entrepreneurship, and leadership. And that is why we exist. So instead of seeing it as a problem, every time you see a problem, you see opportunity. Go out of your way, be the best you can be, and say, I'm going to be at the forefront of AI in Africa. I'm not going to allow the West recolonize us by coming and taking advantage of this opportunity. How will rich mind become the forefront of AI in Africa? In Lagos as you, just Lagos, letting get 2 million people, you can develop a software that will just come for a service. It's home and dry. 2 million people giving him 10 naira every month. It's 20 million is getting every month. That is where Africans should think. That is where we must put our thinking cap. We must not get threatened by the problem. The problem is why we'll become successful. And that is why you're attending this consortium. Think solution. That is why I love what Mr. Azataba asked. What is the solution? That is what we must begin to think. Not how will it affect Africa. Whether we think, whether we like it or not, it has started affecting Africa. You guys are to be at the forefront of providing the solution. That is the reason why you're doing your MBA. You're not doing an MBA to get another certificate. No, you're doing an MBA to solve problems, to think out of the box, to even break the box. Let there be no box. And solve the solution of your country and become the biggest person there. So, Mr. Olariwaju, let's hear from you, please.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good morning, all of them. Morning, afternoon, evening, we receive all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to ask a question regarding what regarding the topics and do likely like join it. I wanted to ask that how can we tackle business ownership data and privacy by the use of AI to streamline and improve business development in Africa?
Okay, Mr.
Can you hear me,
Collins.
sir?
Yeah, we can hear you. I want Mr. Collins to answer because I would have loved to say some things to you, but I want Mr. Collins to speak to you about that.
Okay, sorry, you say how can we
All right.
tackle what? AI? Sorry, come again, please.
How can we tackle business ownership data and privacy by the use of AI to streamline and improve business development in Africa?
How can you tackle business ownership data? So,
Yeah.
if I
And
understand
privacy.
you, sorry.
How can we
You
tackle business ownership data and privacy by the use of AI to improve business development in Africa?
Your question is not very clear to me, but I'm trying to rephrase. How can we tackle? So, are you saying with respect to a specific business or using AI to help determine? I mean, rather get or detect the business data. I'm not sure your question is very clear. Yeah, maybe you can rephrase, please.
All right. When you're talking the other time, I heard you saying data masking, which is data protection.
Exactly.
Either different kind of masking you want to use, or maybe SHA or SALT and others, maybe MD5, different kind of encryption we want to use. So to my own understanding, like there are some confidentiality that some company owner or company they won't want to like release or reveal to anybody who wanted to help them to like analyze, or maybe like someone who is doing a business analyst with the help of data, the company data, it will be easier for the company business analyst to analyze and to give more insight on how to improve the business development about the company. So now the question now is, most of the company ownership, they used to be scared of releasing the company data or information due to confidentiality. So the question now is, how can we tackle ownership data? How can we tackle ownership data and privacy with the help of AI to improve business development? The question is still clear, sir. I don't
Yes,
know if you
yes,
get.
yes. I think now it's clear. I understand you're actually diving deep, and which is good. So, yes, how can that be done? You've mentioned one aspect, but again, let me share something that has happened in the past. Something similar, really. At some point in an organization, for every time they provide a report, the report get leaked, right? So when that became an issue, what they now did was, and usually it's just three persons that they normally share the reports to. And what now happened was to embed a signature, right, that identifies each of the documents that is then distributed. So at that stage, that document is then shared into the three respective persons. So when they now find out that that document was out, they now look at the document by trying to say, okay, this person had this document, and then they look at it as that, okay, this is the person. So they're able to push it to the person who actually leaked it. All right. That said, that is one way of identifying. But again, it depends on how many persons are going to be having it. But can it be done? Yes. Something like this can equally be done at every given time. You can always embed something within a document to know if it is. Again, on the other part, not every company, even though you have a business relation, should have the entire document. Let me use the document or data as the case is. They are only allowed to have data that they should have. But if for any reason the data is complete, then there should be a binding, a document, an agreement, a contract that stipulates, or an MOU that stipulates that, okay, this data of this size, of this sensitivity is given to this person. And because of that, this is what is expected. In fact, in one government organization that has data with AWS, my advice was AWS representative had to come down, the guy representing AWS Africa had to come down and sign a contract binding that this data is going to be stored in our infrastructure. And this is a binding document between us because these are sensitive data. So I don't know if I touched a bit on that, but I mean, these are the things that also bind folks, businesses. So you're not just going to a public domain and push your business data there. If you do that, you're not holding anybody accountable for that. Because apart from regulatory concerns, even you, the business owner, has also failed that as well. So you are also like Mr. Boniface said that you can also go to jail in some contexts because you also fail to protect the data you've collected. There are several cases where organizations are also sued for not protecting data, like Meta, Facebook, several times it has happened. So I don't know if that is on the line of your question, if I touched that.
You did excellently. And just going to and back what you just said, excellently, sir. There are three ways you go with data protection and what he was asking. One, you sign a non-disclosure agreement when you are giving job to anyone. I consulted for a group in Dubai, and for 5 years I could not share what I discussed with them. And it was, if I did it, I'll end up in jail. 5 years I couldn't share anything I discussed with them because they've given, it's a deal. I did a job for them for 5 years. It's one of the biggest real estate in Dubai. I developed it for 5 years. I couldn't talk about the deal. So it's like that. So you have your non-disclosure agreement. You can protect that. And most Nigerians sign, Africans, not just Nigerian, they sign, when you're filling a form online, they will tell you read consent. But you know, most of us don't read the consent. We just click because we don't want to spend hours to read. And sometimes in that consent, you told them that they can use your data. Because part of the consent is that do you grant us permission to use your data for marketing, this, that? And we'll just click OK because we want to move to the next page. No company in the world sign you in without giving you that consent page to sign. Every digital company does that. But I'll tell you, there's less than 1% of people, both in the UK, that read those consents. Because the companies sometimes make it to be so long that you don't have the desire to read it. And they hide certain things inside of it. And that is why companies pay lawyers that would spend the night to go through those consent documents before they sign in their life. Some of you might even have signed that this company, you have access to withdraw certain amount from my bank account. And you've signed and you've put that because we are not reading and we'll put ourselves in trouble. So follow what Mr. Collins said. Either you have a non-disclosure, we'll call it the NDA, sign a non-disclosure agreement before you give anyone job to do for you, if it has to do with data, and then you look at the consent document, and then you go for either the digital one they spoke about. These are the three patterns you protect those things, either in Africa or anywhere in the world. And so I hope what Mr. Collins shared did help you. I believe it did, because that's just the way to go about it, sir. And having said that, let's invite Mr. Friday as we begin to wrap up the discussion. Mr. Friday, let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Collins.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody, once again, and good evening, our dear special guests. It's been so much information and inspiring and challenging and educational listening to you all through. And I must appreciate your detailed and your passion towards it. I have actually gone to LinkedIn and follow you and check all you are doing, and I see it's not today's job. It's been almost decades of work done. And I see the way you are just summarizing and pouring them in us within I really appreciate, sir. Now I have a concern. I've actually been following up AI updates and some studies personally. I studied the European Union AI Act, ISO/IEC 42001, on the act, the implementation, the deploying, the challenges, and all of that as we are raising them here. And since then, I've been engaging one or two persons as it relates to AI, owing to the fact that AI is actually applicable in all sectors and all fields. As an accountant, there is AI for you. As a farmer, there is AI for you. As an electrician, as engineers, whatsoever, as educator, there are AIs for different people. Now, I picked a conversation with a medical laboratory scientist, trying to understand his own view and standpoint as it regards to AI, owing to the fact that technologies or companies like QIAGEN in their next generation sequencing, Leica in their histopathology and immunochemistry, and the rest are now 100% implementing AI, making it fully automated with 10% or even non-human interruption and interference. Just all you need is color your sample and your job is done. And all I could hear from him is that he don't even know where to start the AI thing. And that's being known to him and accepted that he don't know where to start. He's not even ready. So he's seen AI as a challenge, as something just like every other person is raising concern that we come to confront him instead of making his work easy for him and giving him less of work to do. As AI, instead of being an enhancer, he's now seeing AI as a competitor. So to me, that's really a concern, and I'm seeing it with all that I've been gathering. This actually a concept or an understanding that should be declared for state of emergency. And with what you are doing and your group, I now want to ask if you have a plan or future or now to actually come a kind of a response or an awareness campaign for this very AI, so that people will really understand that AI is not only about programming, not about the Python machine learning and all of that, but you can actually start AI based on your need, right? So that's my question actually. Do you now, as somebody who have actually been committed to this, have plans of making this beyond, making it actually to be a campaign to create awareness, to help people to understand how to start and where to start? Because you can see even the questions we are getting from this very seminar consortium is people don't know how to start and where to start. I don't know if my question or my contribution is actually well clear enough.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. It shows that we are about to have another AI guru in the school.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm glad that you are following through all of that. And the truth is, why is all the nations now pushing for an AI Act? The Donald Trump also, the US, that is United States, also brought out their own AI Act as well. The EU has theirs. Several countries has, including Singapore. In fact, at Singapore, I'm not exactly sure again what it was, but in one of it, the India house in the National Assembly, like they were discussing that every 40-year-old must go for an AI, at least diploma, right? So that was a strong debate at their house. So this is something that really people should understand, folks should follow through. Regarding if I have some sort of campaign, um, let me tell you something that is surprising. I have friends. I was speaking to a friend who is in the UK. He got his PhD since 2014. We're actually working both in the same software development company here in Nigeria before he left. So I was telling him, oh, what are the opportunities that I'm looking at doing something? Is there a way we could get some funding and all of that? His response was that, please, that he also has been trying to reach out to me, that he needs more help. And I said, what is it? He said, he wants to now understand this AI, that there's a lot of anxiety in the AI space. And this is someone who is a core software developer. Why did I say this? I'm saying this not because of anything, even including myself. The speed is crazy. There's a whole lot. But what do you need? You need to stay very focused, understand the basics, the foundations, then see the business cases, including the use case, and how you can harness that. When you understand this AI ecosystem, there's a lot of things you will hear. There's a whole lot of things you will hear. And all of these things I can tell you for free. These are things and terms that mostly came up this year and last year. Initially, it was around the LLMs, what we call large language models. From large language models, which are the likes of the GPTs, the OpenAI, ChatGPT, Google Gemini came up with their own. Meta came up with their chatting system. Anthropic came up with their own chatting system. All of Grok, which is X, also came up with their own. We're talking about LLMs, right? The next was generative AIs. Oh, we're not done with LLM. People started talking about generative AIs. They started looking at, okay, not just using text and getting text response. Let's talk about images. Let's talk about videos. Let's talk about audios. The waves push to generative AI. My brother, we're not done with generative AIs. People are not talking about agents, AI agents and tools. Okay, the next thing is, oh, there's this email I need to receive every month. I need to send out this email. I need to send auto response to this email. I need a notification that looks through my calendar and then tells me my availability or whether I have an appointment and all of that. I need a system that goes through my social media handles and be able to go to the OpenAI systems or Google Gemini and then generate images and text and then post them on several other social media handles, follow them, like them, respond to comments. People have started looking at that. So we now have agents and tools. If you now look at them, they now also introduce something called, on those tools, you see things like research, deep research. If you're a PhD holder, now you need to now start doing some level of research by providing some contests, okay? And after providing those contests, then the AI systems generates those reports for you as you have read it. We're not done with that. It moved to the context-aware systems, what we call the MCPs. This also springed up. Okay, it's no longer prompt engineering. It's now context. What context are you talking about? In what adaptation is it? So still on that, we now have agentic AI, which is what we are now all playing with today. But my brother, that's not all. There's a whole lot, really. And would I be happy to go on and even provide, like I said, I'm a granular person. This is something I can build from start to finish. But would there be a campaign to have engagements where we chat, we talk about it, we educate people on it, we promote it, we see that people use it for good, we see that we encourage people also to protect their systems because as we're talking about AI advancement, people are using AIs to also pretend to be real humans to carry out an act. So you see, there's a lot of, also you look at AI and security that is in play. So there's a whole lot. I mean, I could go on and on. There are several use cases. There is also so much goods that it can be done. Companies has also reduced their company size because from call agents to inventory of the customer relationship management to responding to that and then documenting that and creating alerts at different level, including surveillance. These are all being adopted. So yes, Yes, it's a campaign I'm interested in. It's a campaign I think I've already started, but maybe in a smaller way. But it's a campaign that God so kind. I'll be also speaking in Ghana sometime next week.
When are you
On
speaking in Ghana? Let me see if the Ghanaian people here, they can reach out to you. Mr.
okay,
Paul, are you people willing to
okay.
reach out to
So
all of
so
you
so
from Ghana,
so
Mr.
so
Azataba and the co? Do you guys, okay, we'll talk later.
so these are things that I mean, yes, there's a lot of understanding, and you pick out what you need, right? Remember, and then I always ask someone, there was a time where if for you to do document, to write on documents, you need to be an engineer to understand how to build Word document. But not everybody needs to program Microsoft Word. Not everybody, you don't need to. You stay on your business, you use documents for document processing, and then you deliver on that promise, right? While you let the software engineers handle the aspect that they need to handle. These days, even in building software applications, we have the no code, low code tool. Because of the AI advancement, you can build a mobile app, you can build a website, functional website, you can build a profile page, you can build an e-commerce, all of these things with just understanding of prompt engineering and context aware, which also talks about lexical understanding of and variations of English words. So I think, thank you for that. I don't know if I've
No,
overspoken.
no, no. The truth is that
Oh,
somebody triggered your element and you just went into your element, and we thank you for that.
sorry,
And
I love to hear more of that.
yeah,
Thank you.
so I think what will happen is that because these are MBA students, we have we have some guests in our midst today, but majority are the MBA students. And what we're trying to do, we are setting up an alumni where we introduce them to mentors like you. Because some will be graduating by February, but they are not leaving the system. They're going to the alumni club. And so we call them, it's going to be a learning process. So during the alumni club, experts like you will come from different sectors and going to be mentors to them. And that is what we're looking for. So people like Reverend Akachuku will join the alumni club. It's going to be graduating by February. And I'm sure he's looking forward to that graduation. I've heard this. And then we have people like so many of them are coming then. And then hopefully some will be going for the doctorate program and the rest of that. But what we are looking at, we are glad to have you on the board. There's so many things we want to do. Just 2 days ago, I was able to develop a website for my ministry here in London in less than 10 minutes. And that was the product of AI. I just worked with my AI assistant and we developed a website for my ministry in less than 10 minutes. And so you want to be able to cope with the speed of light. You have no choice. So you got to learn. I'm begging all of you, please go and apply for your technological entrepreneurship. We're going to invite people like Mr. Collins to come and mentor some of you over time. So learn, acquire intelligence. See, there's no option. Mr. Collins is just a gentleman, so he's trying to pet some of you. The truth is this: if you are afraid of AI, you'll be extinct in the next 5 years. I'm just being sincere with you. I can't say it. I'm saying it out of love. It's not. It's what they call the brutal truth. If you do not grab it within the next, you're going to be trouble. So I beg you. It might be tough, and again, don't get this minded that you need to learn the technical aspect. Learn the application. That could be good enough. What you might need. So what we are doing during the technological entrepreneur, you are learning we have the basic, the intermediate, and the professional level. Now, Mr. Collins is at the professional level, but come and learn the basic. If that is what you're going to learn, and that is why we call it the professional technology. Then they have diploma, and then we have the master in technological entrepreneurship. Come and learn that and grow to that level. And you see how it grows. So can see those of you in Abuja and those of you in Ghana, you want to encounter Mr. Collins when it comes to Ghana, take his phone number. Collins has been a brother. Actually, me and Collins were a neighbor. And one time, that's why in this life, keep relationship. I used to tell people, I say, most of you don't invest in solid relationship. And that's been one of my greatest assets in life is relationship management. And you learn to invest in relationship. Some of you cannot go back to people you know 10 years ago because you have spoiled relationship. All of you cannot do things together. See, no businessman succeeds without the relationship investment. I keep saying this time and time and time again. And invest in relationship, and that is where. And today there's a lady friend of mine. She runs one of the biggest technological school. I don't want to call the school in Africa. We knew some 10 years ago. She's also said she wants to come and speak to our students. So, but it's about relationship. She's doing a lot. I'm going to probably connect you and Mr. Collins to her. She has institution now in Lekki, one in Delta State, big institutions, and people are doing exploits. So those of you that don't attend consortium meetings, how do you even create relationship? I'm sure most of you don't even know your colleagues' names. You don't know their phone numbers. You don't gist with them. And it shouldn't be that. Coming to school is more than just coming to get a degree. Build relationship that you need for the rest of your life. Now, Mr. Collins' number is on the platform. You can, those of you, someone send I'm in Abuja, I'd like to reach out to Mr. Collins. Now you have his number. Just let him know that you are from the DRN school. I'm sure he's going to give you discount. And so I'm sure you're going to give our student discount that will be coming for special AI courses and all those things. And
absolutely.
Okay, so for those of you that need this, you're going to see how that works. So thank you, Mr. Collins. We want to say we love you, we appreciate you, we know, and these are the things you do for government across the world. There's one you did for Nigeria. I don't want to call the name so that people don't come after you. And so there's a whole lot you've done for Nigeria, Africa, and you just keep doing. I would pray that God begin to enlarge you. Mr. Richmond, we hope it's not AI Amala you are eating.
Very important to us.
So I want to thank God for everyone. So if there are no questions, we just want to say, can we unmute ourselves and thank Mr. Collins for his time spent with us today?
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Thank you, Mr. Collins, for
I
that
think we
time.
should have a
Thank
special
you,
way
sir.
AI.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let
I
all
want
of
to
us have
thank
a
my
special
AI.
wave. Let us send wave to Mr. Collins. Let us send wave.
Thank you very
Release
much.
wave. Just release wave on
Thank you
your
very much.
to your
Greetings from Ghana,
release your wave
and
and
we hope
send your
to
wave.
hear or see you in Ghana sometime.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you so much.
I appreciate. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Hope to get to connect to all of you at some point.
Okay.
Right.
So it's a place.
I just called you. My number stopped is 881.
Oh, I saw the
I just called your number. Stop
yes,
at 81.
Okay, I'm going to save it right away. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Chad Revenaka Chukwu in billions. He has money.
Oh,
don't mind him. I'm a pastor.
Yes.
I'm a missionary, not just a pastor. Don't mind him.
I need that prayer too.
For prayer, I can. That one, I can give. But in terms of money, I don't get to.
No problem.